I got to tell y'all something, cause y'all don't realize that it stinks until it hits your table. Until the itch hits your dinner plate, you won't know that it stinks. And I'm here to expose all of the stinkery that's going on in these streets, cause it's nasty. It's nasty. Another week back to back with the repeats going back to back. You know what I mean? In the space of content creators, then you need to go to. I was about to say a particular event. I'm not gonna say that event today. I'm not gonna say it because I'm partial. I can't get with the scammers. I don't know. It's something about coexisting with scammers. I just can't do it. It's too much for my spirit, man. It's taxing. But if you are a person that wants to get into content creating, you got to be around other content creators or study up on the content creators. If you want to be a producer, then you need to do what? Be around other credible, resourceful producers. I'm not talking about the random producers that's just out here in these streets. Listen, it's a lot of y'all bums out here in these streets. I'm exposing. I'm exposing today. Come to the stage. I'm exposing all of y'all. All these bomb producers is out here in these streets selling non-beats. Y'all selling other people's beats. But it's too early in the pod for me to get in, but I'm just telling y'all, I am going to be going in on y'all today. I am. Come close. Come close. Everybody that's just joined on Instagram, welcome. Come close. All of my producers. I got to tell y'all something, because y'all don't realize that it stinks until it hits your table. Until the itch hits your dinner plate, you won't know that it stinks. And I'm here to expose all of the stinkery that's going on in these streets, because it's nasty. It's nasty. But anyway. Who about got riled up? It's too early. Look, podcast is like when the preachers be getting up on stage and then you might hit that organ. All my organ players, y'all know y'all can rush a preacher, right? Y'all be hey, wait. Who used to do that? Eddie Long. Hey, like that right there. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to chill. Because what I do, I sit up in the sky in my virtual skyscraper, and I look down upon the peasants. I can't even say it with a straight face. But I sit up in the penthouse, and I look down on the peasants, and I say, what are they doing? Y'all are out there giving beats away for $5? You can't do nothing else with those beats except for you selling the beat for $5? And this is the stuff that I look at from my skyscraper, my virtual skyscraper. I just be looking like, okay, wait, my son, you are gonna just let them rippity rap all over your beat, and you ain't gonna make no money. You just gonna let them rap all. So I'm gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun today. But anyway, let's get started. We're gonna take it slow. John Legend. No, we're not gonna take it slow. One last thing. There was a new TV show out, and they're not sponsoring the podcast. I just thought it was a pretty cool idea to show the public how it works in music world. Shouts out to Harvey. That's a family friend. Shouts out to Harvey. But there's a TV show called Hitmakers on Netflix, right? This show, if you are an innocent bystander and you think you want to do music, or you think you want to write songs, or you think that you dope, go look at this show. It's called Hitmakers. It's on Netflix. What up, Nicole? What up? The show does this, and it shows everything that we do from a production side of things. So I don't think people realize before an album is placed, or before an album hits the store, or what is it now? It ain't even no store. Y'all have let these people take the music out the stores. Y'all have just let these people stick their thing all in you. This is nasty. Why you let the people do this to us? Y'all let them do this with the big finger. But anyway, how it used to be, you would work hard, bam, bam, beat after beat, and then you're gonna send this to Eminem, you're gonna send this to 50 Cent, you're gonna send this to Beyonce, you're gonna send this to Destiny Child, you're gonna send this to all these people, right? And then you hope that you land a placement on one of these albums. All right, that was a cool concept, and the idea of Mama, we made it. Look, we out the hood, Mama, look at Don't your mama look, mama, right? That's what everybody wants to do, right? Once you get on, that's the plan. You want to show mama, look, we made it. Nigga, we made it, right? But what's happened is there's been a lot of cut that's been put on top of the music as far as mechanical royalties. And this is all stuff you got to just join the pay for Patreon if you want to know a lot of this stuff because I go deep for hours. Wait, pause, wait. You can't say that, big dog. You can't say that. Oh, but I go deep on the content for hours, on the subject matter for hours. And that's on the paid for tier. But anyway, what used to happen, you could say, Mama, look, we made it. We out the hood. Look at what I bought you. Look at this, right? And it was a little bit easier to attain. But now a lot more people are getting into the business and a lot more people have disregarded the art side of business. So they just made it all business, i.e., all of the dope money. All the dope money hit the streets. All the dope money started hitting the record labels' hands, and they say, "Hey, you want a hit? It's gonna be $50,000." They say, "Okay, you going 50,000, and you can make anything a hit." They say we can make anything a hit. 50,000, 50,000. So people will pay the 50,000. Guess what? You get a top 40 Billboard record, and they say, "Well, look, we can just keep this joint going. I see you made a little bit of money. How much you made off of it so far?" Then the artist gonna say, "Well, look, right now I'm getting paid like 10,000, 15,000 a show." Then they put some more cut on top of it. They say, "Well, look, if you did regional 50,000, you did good for 50,000 regional, but if we want to take this thing up to another level, now we at the $250,000 point." 250,000. So anytime you hear a lot of artists say, yeah, it'll take 100,000 or it'll take 200,000 for a record to blow, that's what they're talking about. Payola still exists. It is still payola at the payola. Payola. This it still exists. So when you look at getting into the business now, you just have to figure out what side of business do you want to land on. Do you want to be the person that's doing the Lil Russell or doing the Tech Nine, and you're gonna do it independently? You build you a nice compound. I am now at the point where I'm kind of like a hybrid. I've done a lot of major label stuff before. And I still get major placements. Oh, shouts out to Justin Bieber. What up, Justin? If y'all heard the song, "Man, you gone, man, you gone," I did that. That's me. That's me. I'm on that record. Right? But anyway, it's a lot of work to build up your stuff from scratch, from the independent side of things. But like I was saying, I am a hybrid where I know how the majors work, and I am picking and choosing how much of the major labels blueprint that I'm going to use inside of all of the stuff that I do. I encourage all content creators to be your own network, right? You got to be your own network. When I say be your own network, you have to conduct yourself as if you are a network television station. Everybody that's in my lucrative community and some of the people that follow me by happenstance, they have heard me talk about this stuff forever. And the reason is it's a lot of changes on attention. We're not talking about Lil Nas X. It's a lot of changes on attention. My followers they be spicy. Why y'all be so spicy? But the changes on where the attention is going is ridiculous. Um, let me pull my clips up. We gonna make this business. We're not talking about Diddy. We're not talking about
the first time. And the influential Walsh Moffett Nathanson just named YouTube the new king of all media, because in 2025, it's going to top Disney to become the biggest media company, generating more than $55 billion annually. And according to the firm, YouTube is likely worth as much as $550 billion total. But Moffett Nathanson also says YouTube's...
Wait. I want to put a pause in that. All right, so let's recap. Real quick recap. YouTube is getting now more streams than where we getting streams from Netflix, any of the paid for platforms. YouTube is killing all of it. Now, this is the thing. This is what I want everybody to think of when it comes to YouTube and any other platform that we consider quote unquote free, right? None of the platforms are free. You're paying with your attention. They are purchasing your eyes and the attention. That's where the money exchange is happening. Case in point, I think I may have said this on a few other podcasts ago. When you look at, and some people might be watching this on YouTube right now live, because I'm live right now on YouTube, but it won't be live after I get off the joint. But anyway, you might be watching me live show, almost like the news broadcast, and then they'll run a commercial, AdSense. While they're running that commercial, what they'll do is, I don't know what the split is either. I got to figure out what the split is. But they'll run the commercial, and now the content creator that has their channel live is going to get paid a piece of that money from AdSense, and then YouTube is going to collect a certain amount of that same ad. Well, guess what? If you continue to go live for hours and hours at a time, and now you got let's say 1,000 people watch your live. Right, you get to the point where 1,000 people watch your live every week, and then after it's reposted, let's say another 10,000 people watch that same live that you just reposted. Well, there's money in that. There's a lot of money that changes hands when it comes to how it's monetized, how many people get the money from the monetization, and where the money comes from. Right. When it comes to let's go to Netflix, or let's go to HBO Max, or let's go to Apple. What is it? Apple Plus. I think there's Apple Plus. I think it's Apple Plus. If you go to those now, they'll probably pay you money up front in exchange for whatever they're getting off of subscriptions or whatever they're getting off of ad money. Right? So that's the difference is you're getting paid your money up front if you try to place with the Netflix or something like that. But when you come to YouTube, it's more of a profit split. Now, I like profit share and I like profit splits. Like, I like that because let's say like today, right? I ain't gonna lie. A lot of my numbers have been down when it comes to some of the reposts, right? But it's still it's a backlogged catalog. Can't get that out. Backlog catalog that's posted. So now that means however big I build my platform to be, there will always be a check attached to something. Right now it might be small. I think we're sitting around 33,000 subscribers, something like that, right? 33,000 subscribers, right? But let's fast forward this thing and say we get to the point where we have 100,000 subscribers, or even 500 to 1,000,000 subscribers. All right, let's say we do that. Well, now that same count that I would get, let's say I would normally get $2 for the ad revenue. Well, now since I got 1,000,000 people watching, that $2 might be $1,000 per view. Or that you see what I'm saying? So that's the reason I say conduct yourself like a network television show. Part one. It does something to your brain where you got to deliver. You got to always show up, deliver a show, even if you feel like the show is trash. As fluent as I am now, I have not always been this way. I used to just scream straight through a podcast. I had no validity to anything that I had to talk about. I was just like, I got to deliver and I got to do the job. Because this is the thing. This is one other thing, and I'm going to get back to the clip. But one other thing. I don't think people understand that whenever you're trying to build business or whenever you're trying to get into a new venture, you have to treat that joint, if not more, you got to treat it like you are going to a job. You have to treat it like a 9 to 5. And you have to have certain parameters set where, all right, I know I didn't deliver on this week. And since I didn't deliver on this, I got to show up for myself and do ... Whatever the ... is in your world, right? But what a lot of people have started to do is they'll start creating content because you hype off the high, the initial high. You done got hype. You like, I'm doing this time. I'm gonna post 5 videos. I'm gonna post something every week. I'm gonna do this, and you high off of the initial thing you gotta do. You high off of it, but then your leg hurt that day. Well, oh, my leg hurt. I don't feel like doing nothing. I just want to sit down. My leg hurting real bad. And then you stop. You don't do the thing that you said that you were going to do because you got one inconvenience. Then another inconvenience pops up, so you don't do it again. Then another and that's how a lot of people end up killing the dream, for real. For real. I wish I could tell y'all. I've told the story 1,000 times about me being broke and going back and forth to New York. Part of me felt like it was the stupidest thing ever. Some of it was stupid, but part of me felt like it was the stupidest thing ever to not be at the house, going to work to pay a bill to try to get a placement, right? All of that is it's cool, right? But the difference is the now me knows, okay, no, you always have to have the dream on the table. The dream right there, right now, your dream might be, I think I said nuns. Nuns in the chat. Your dream might be painting, or your dream might be animation. All right, cool. Well, if that's the dream, you still might have to go over here and work for a law office to get a decent amount of money, so you're not broke on the way to the journey. Like a lot of musicians, what y'all are doing, and what I've seen happen over and over is you will say, "I am all in on this thing called a dream." And what you don't realize is you got the poverty breath. You got the poverty breath when you're trying to pursue the dream. People don't want to smell the poverty breath. Poverty breath is this. Well, yeah, all I got about 100. I got about $100 I can put towards this. I got about 100 I can put towards it. If I get the 100, then you can look out for me. No, nobody. What y'all have to realize is a lot of people are in business just like you. A lot of people are entrepreneurs just like you. They started with the dream. They started with this thing and they just built it over time. But the difference is it's kind of like a needy poverty type of mood, but it's also like a sense of entitlement all at the same time, right? Because if you look at the person, and I try to use examples that everybody understands, but let's say you are a give me something. Let's say you're selling waters, right? Let's gonna say that water boys. Say you selling some water, right? And you are hyped, you excited, you like, yo, I got the best water in the world. I'm not talking about water boys. I'm talking about like you actually took the step forward and you got your own labels, you got your own bottling, you did all of the hard work. You've already done the work, right? But then you go to a person, let's say you go to the Falcon Stadium and you say, look, man, look, I got this water. It's the best water. It comes straight from Fiji mixed with a little bit of mountain water, right? And what I want to do, I want y'all to have this in y'all stadium. I want y'all to sell this. And, how can we do a deal? And the person that you approach says, we're not going to do no deal because I don't know your tail. You need to go through the proper channels to get back to me to sell the drink that you're trying to sell in my stadium. What most people do when that happens and the person regurgitates what the process is, you quit. A lot of people just quit. You say, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because it's not worth my time. If I do this again, then y'all just don't want me to succeed. It's not the fact that they don't want you to succeed. Some stuff just has a protocol. Some stuff has a certain way to do it. You just got to do it this way to get over here. Once you get over here, you can do it how you want to do it. But to get in the door, you got to do this. Another thing, a lot of my church folk might get mad at me, and I do want to get back to the YouTube conversation, but I got a lot of topics. But anyway, a lot of my church people say, well, look, I did it. I've done it. So I'm not picking fun. I'm not making fun of nobody. But a lot of people say, well, I'm going to go to this house, and I'm going to walk around this house, and I'm going to pray on this house. Because God told me this is going to be my house. And you're like, okay, all right. I'm not saying, hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not saying God didn't tell you that was going to be your house, but did he tell you that was going to be your house right now? And if he told you it was going to be your house right now, have you set yourself up for the regular preliminary things to get done? People, it's weird that people will say, well, nah, God ain't, he ain't showing up for me. It's God's fault for not showing. No, it's your fault for not being prepared. Did you have your credit together? Credit. I mean, who needs credit? I'm praying. I lean on Jesus. Okay, all right. Get your credit together. I don't even know what credit is. That's your point. You're pushing back the process. Thank you, MJ. You're pushing back the process. All right. So, and this is simple. All my church folk, again, this is not a. I'm not trying to pick point fingers because I've been there, right? But let's not blame things on God when certain things fall through the cracks. Let's not say that's God's fault. It's not God's fault. It's your fault for not being prepared for the opportunity when the opportunity presented itself. It's not God's fault, right? Case in point, again, back to the house conversation. I walk through this house and I'm praying, God's going to deliver me to this house and this is my house. And you cry, you're snotting. Thank you, God, I believe, I trust. We done some stupid stuff. I trust you, God. I know this is my house. You're going to cry. You're going to go home. You're going to, oh, man. You're going to go back to that apartment. You're going to say, man, I believe that God going to give me that house. And then you're going to say, all right, now what I need to do. You're going to call the person because most of the time they have a sign, house for sale. You're going to call the person. They're going to say, okay. Oh, okay, you like this house. And they want to, listen, this is the craziest thing. You call the person that's trying to sell the house and say, I want to buy the house. They want to sell that house just as bad as you want to buy the house. But it's certain things that got to be in order. All right, how's your credit? You're going to say, I got like a 400 credit score. Okay, well, you're not ready for this yet. You need at least a 580. Okay. And even with the 580, you're going to get a bad interest rate. So you need more like a 680, 700 credit score, 720. If you get around that, then we can do something. And then what you normally do, you're going to hang up the phone and you're going to go cry. You're going to say, God, why you trying to penalize me? God is trying to penalize me for not. No, it's not God's fault, boo-boo. It's not. What you got to do, you got to make sure your job is decent. That's stable income. That's why I got this podcast right here. I show y'all how to get to the bag all the time. Been doing it for 3 years almost now. But you got to have your job, stable income. You got to have statements. You can't just have stable income on the Cash App. If it is on Cash App, we need that reported. We need to show proof that you got this money a legal way. Show me how you did it. Right? That's one thing. How is your credit? They're gonna look at that. Then they're gonna say, okay, what's your down payment? Then they're gonna look at that. Then they're gonna say, okay, we got to go into inspections. And this is all the stuff that people you give up during the process to purchase one property. And I've done this a few times. To purchase one property, you got to go through the procedures. Okay, inspections. All right, you're gonna pay for the inspections before you buy the house. You're gonna pay for the appraisal before you buy the house. You're gonna do the down payment before you buy the house. You say, where's the book, guy? I ain't got no book. Not for this. I have resources for everybody in my community, though. It's a guy named Reggie Miller. Follow him. Reggie Miller, he helps all of my people that's in Georgia. But anyway, you got to have all the preliminaries together, and then you're going to say, okay, do I pre-qualify? The bank is going to run all your stuff. You're going to send you to a person called an underwriter. The underwriter is going to be in your bathroom looking at you in the mirror while you brush your teeth. That's how close. They're gonna be on you like white on rice, looking through all of your monies. And they're gonna say, all right, well, based off of this, they're like, wait. What happened 5 years ago? And this is the stuff that I tell people, you have to address the stuff that you effed up. If you effed up a bag or you effed up something, you have to address it. You cannot overlook it. At some point, all of the stuff that I hate some of these content creators with a passion. I be like, you are teaching these people how to scam. It's a scam. But all these content creators that was telling y'all, you go ahead, you get the net 30, and then you get the net 30. Once you get the net 30, you're gonna put the money over here. And then when you put the money over there, you gotta pull it out again. You can put if that's the process, and then they say run the play, yeah, you're going to jail. It is the direct pathway to scamming, right? Do things the right way. Does it take longer? Sure. But is it more sustainable? Of course. Right? Oh Lord, I ain't even mean to go into real estate like that. But it's taxing for me to see a lot of people. I thought about something too. It's something going on this weekend. By the time the podcast goes out, then y'all won't know what it is, all right? But it's something currently going on this weekend. Um, and a few of my friends invited me out, and they know me. They know me. I'm the older country. Well, no, I'm not country. I'm reserved, right? But I look over everything with a fine tooth comb, and they say, "Yo, you should come out. It's a good networking situation. Everybody gonna be in Atlanta this weekend." Y'all gonna figure it out in the chat. Whoever's live right now, y'all gonna figure it out. It's something going on this weekend in Atlanta, boy. You need to be here, boy. I was like, for real? He said, yeah, I already got the tickets. Go ahead. We got the box. You just come through. Boy, I know you're gonna come through with it. And see, me, that type of thing, I run away from all the time. I'm allergic to scammers. I'm allergic. I start breaking out in hives if I see a scammer. So he said, "Yeah, come through. Boy, you'll like it. I promise you, bro. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope." All right. So, soon as he said that, he sent me the digital tickets in my email. I get on Instagram. I scroll like a real quick scroll. I wasn't even looking for it. It was a quick scroll. I saw somebody with the brick phone, the money phone, like this. See, boy, what you need to do is learn how to invest your money. Look at this. And he had money. He had dollars falling off of the brick phone. I was like, see, that right there is what's gonna make me stay at the house. all that, all that scamming energy, all that scamming energy is just nasty. It's taxing on the spirit. How can y'all do this forever, forever, ever, forever? Y'all doing way too much. But anyway, yo, yo, MJ, you know exactly who it is. Ah, he said, yo, it's gonna be lit in Atlanta this weekend. Why? You gonna be able? No, no, no. I won't be there. I ain't told him I won't be there. But again, by the time this podcast once it airs, it's gonna be a week out, so nobody will understand what I'm talking about. But everybody live, no, I'm not. Y'all won't see me. Y'all will not see me out there with them scammers. It's a scam. All right, one more. Back to YouTube for 1 second, and then I got to get to my next subject. Back to YouTube. We're gonna get to the next subject.
Engagement on TV is significantly under monetized. And so YouTube is responding by giving creators more TV-like tools. For example, channels can now package their content into seasons and episodes. Creators can
Ooh. All right, so I don't know if y'all caught that. So right now, if you're making some content on YouTube, you can create seasons and you can create this, and this stuff already exists right now, but you can create seasons, episodes, all that stuff. The beauty in all of this is once you create a season, you can package it up and now you can shop it. And you have numbers that you can shop and you can say, case in point, and I think sometimes I feel like I'm talking over people's heads, so I'm gonna try to make it like as basic as possible. Let's say Saratoga, the water that Buddy put his face in. That right there. All right. Let's say you want to shop, you want Saratoga to sponsor your um your vlog series on YouTube. Well, all you got to do now is you can package it up and say, look, Saratoga, I have 15 episodes where I'm talking about health, fitness, mental awareness, self-care, all that stuff. And I already got 10,000 people that's watching this thing that we recorded about a year ago. I would like for you to sponsor some future episodes for me, and I will promote your business as a result of doing dot dot dot. Well, all you got to do now is just send them a little zip. You send them a little zip, right? And they ain't even a zip. You just send them a link and they can see all of your numbers and they can make their decision on how much money they could give you and when they could give it to you. That's a powerful move because a lot of times when you're a content creator, you just create more videos, right? Like I hired a guy. This is probably about 3 weeks. No, yeah, 3 weeks ago now. Because this is August, so that was in July. I hired a guy to come do an audit on my YouTube channel, right? I'm just like, yo, okay, I know how much money I make off of this, but now I'm looking to see how can we grow it, and can you find the holes where I might be missing some opportunities to advance myself and engage and get some more monetization going on. And just let me know what you find. When I tell y'all this dude came through with the fine tooth comb, he said, "All right, you need to be doing this. You need to. Why you do this, Mag? Don't do that. Why you? That's old. Why you do it?" And he was just giving me the game. Case in point, this is why I'm doing batch recording. So anybody that's watching this on Patreon, y'all might see me with the, no, everybody watching this on YouTube, you might see me with the same shirt for 2 episodes. That's why. That's why. He said, yo, you need to do some batch recordings and you need to do more edits on your batch recordings. If you know more of your engagement goes to the beats, then you got to give more people some beats within your podcast. And I said, how am I do that? He said, I don't know. You figure it out. I said, okay, I can figure it out. But I think it's insanity to keep doing things that might be, it may have worked for a certain season, but now you got to start switching up and you got to start pivoting into another space. It's important. It's important. So listen to the people. Listen to people. But this is dope with YouTube. This is
Add
dope.
QR codes into their videos to spark engagement via mobile. And YouTube is providing new AI dubbing tools so creators can translate their content into several different languages. The numbers show that YouTube's creators are in fact optimized. Channels are now mostly watched on TV. Uploads of 4K videos have risen 35% year over year, and according to Fast Company, the number of creators making most of their revenue from TV screens is up 30% from 2023 to 2024. But Mohan really summed it up with 6 words. Creators really are the new Hollywood.
Yo, I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen. I gotta give him a clap. So back to what I was saying. Right now we have to start conducting ourselves as network television stations. Honestly. We gotta what's this? Oh, thank you for doing that. I don't think they want me to be great. TikTok don't want me to be great. And it's okay. It's okay. I don't depend on one platform. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a good situation for all of my new YouTubers and all of my people that just want to get into creating content and monetizing your content. And this is another thing before I go to my next subject. This is another thing before I go to the next subject. When you are a super creative person, it is okay to be about your money. You got to be about your bag. If you're not about your money, ain't nobody else gonna be about it. Now, this does not mean that you have to be money hungry, but you have to be super intentional on the things that you're trying to get done. Case in point, when I first started doing this podcast, my initial, my honest to God truth. Let me do this right quick for y'all on TikTok. A little puzzle piece came up on the screen. But if like when I first started doing the podcast, I really just started doing it because I saw a guy named David Shands. Shouts out to David Shands from the Social Proof Podcast. But David Shands did a long interview, like a long segment where he was like, yo, if you are a content creator, you need to start doing you a podcast. I was like, I'm not gonna do no podcast. I could talk. Like normally I talk, but it's more so on the coaching, teaching. That's my personal life side of things. I coach on that side. But I was like, could I do it on camera? Sure, I could do it on camera. So Shans was like, look, everybody that's gonna be content creators and that start podcasts right now, in the next 5 years, y'all are gonna be the tastemakers for y'all. Like y'all are gonna be the ones that's doing it over the news stations. And I was like, say less. I just need to do it. But what I've learned is this, and I might run out of time before I get to my next subject. But what I learned is this: when you are a content creator, you have the ability to navigate into certain spaces that the traditional news network television stations can't do it. They got different types of money that's backing certain things. So when you do your own thing and you growing it, you can do it at your own pace. You can bump your head along the way, do all of that stuff right now, right? And then at some point you'll get good at it. And then at some point people will start watching. And then at some point people start paying you for it, right? But again, never forget, let's not forget the first part, the first grade of currency is the attention. The first grade of currency is attention. This is why I keep talking to MJ and a few other people that's on everybody on Instagram. My bad. I ain't seen y'all in the chat, so I see what is it? Producer Reeves, what up? Goliath, what up? H Town, what's up? Cobblestone Music Group, what up? Cobblestone Multimedia, what up? But that's why Goliath, I think I said Goliath, what up? But this is exactly why I start doing this stuff, because it don't, for me, it's not a big money grab. The content creating side of things is not a money grab just yet, right? It will be a money grab at some point. But all I've learned is it is a tool that you can use to drive traffic to other things that you might have going on. Case in point, I've talked about my masterclass before on this podcast. When I first opened the pod, I talked about Safe Tire Auto. Um, I got a few other companies I'm not gonna talk about. They got that money, that check got to clear. But a lot of times you'll get your money back at some point, right? But you got to keep doing it. And people don't understand how attractive consistency is. People don't understand how attractive consistency is. The average person that watches a podcast does not understand all of the work that goes into it when you, by the time it hits YouTube or by the time you see a clip on Instagram. They don't understand the audio and visual side of things. They don't understand stream. I'm still learning the streaming side of things, honestly. I'm still learning it. But they don't understand all that goes into it before it hits the streets, right? All of that initial stuff can be taxing on the spirit, especially when nobody's watching, especially when you have no interaction, especially when you feel like you're doing something for nothing, right? So I want to just take a little bit of time, encourage all of my new content creators, all my old content creators, all my old rappers, old producers. Look, I am not a person that's going to always say, I think you should go do this, or I think you should get in. I've been telling people, if they make poverty music, you should go into tech. I've been and Goliath said, don't send them to tech, send them over to somewhere else. But I do feel like a lot of people have the ability to create content around the things that they do. They just don't know how to look at it just yet. They don't know how to look at it. And I do feel like, also another thing, it is not possible to conduct a business without content. Ask me how I know. Why would Tide run a commercial on TV? Why would Tide, the laundry detergent, and we've all bought different detergents, and we've all bought different types of body wash, body soaps. Why do you think these companies run ads on TV? Because they need the content to hit different viewers to push more sales to the product. What they do and what we do on the internet is no different. It's all the same. You just got to figure out what lane you're in, and you got to figure out what product or what service you can attach your brand to, right? Um, one last thing. I was looking at doing a mastermind at the end of the month. This is more so for all of the people, anybody that's watching it live, anybody that's watching this on Patreon. I'm looking at doing a mastermind at the end of the month. It'll be around a six, maybe. Yep, it ain't gonna be no less than a 6 hour sit down, and I'm going through business strategies. I'm going through different business planning, some of the basic stuff that you're gonna need, all the way to intermediate, all the way to some of the professional things that I implement with other businesses. I am going to be extending the invite via this podcast, right? So if you want to be a part of the mastermind at the end of the month, make sure you go to Mad Lucrative Exec. Mad Lucrative Exec. I'm gonna put it down there on the screen. If you go there, say, hey, look, bro, I want to be a part of the mastermind, and this is the business that I'm in. I need to drive a little bit more traffic because right now I'm a little bit depressed. And this is something else too. And I've been posting stuff in my stories for the whole week about Scorpios, because I'm a Scorpio, right? And we have this thing in us that says you can do everything by yourself. You can just do it by yourself. You don't need no help. Just so one of them is a guy, he carrying a couch, and the other side of the couch is on like a rolling chair. He like, nah, I don't need no help. I got it. All right. A lot of us content creators and a lot of us business owners have been doing that with our businesses. You've been trying to carry the load and do everything by yourself and do everything dolo. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do it dolo, right? And actually, you're going to get burnt out. I've been burnt out 1,000 times over and over. I've been burnt out 1,000 times over and over, right? And the reason I got burnt out initially was because I was trying to do everything dolo. I've talked about my flips one time before, and I'm gonna be running out of time. I can tell the story right quick. But when I first became a contractor, what up, Antonio? What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome, welcome. When I became a general contractor after being broke in the music business, um, it was the first property that they gave us. It was some investors. I've always been cool and I've always been able to talk to people of a high status. I don't, maybe it's music business, maybe it's having some dysfunctional family things, maybe it's being the fat boy when you're growing up. I don't know. One of those. I pick one of them and I use it. But I've always had the ability to talk to people in a certain way where I'm connecting with them and they just want to pour out their heart. And I'm like, okay, I'm not equipped for this. I'm only in high school. But anyway, first property that I got to work on as a general contractor, when I went in, I priced it as if I was going to do most of the work myself. I did I was like, yo, I'm gonna go in this property, and this is the thing, and this is the golden point. This is the golden point. Because you can do it, and you have every skill available to do the job, still don't mean you need to do all of the jobs. I'll say that again for the people in the back of the class. Just because you have all of the skills to do the job and you're very equipped and you know how to do it, you actually probably know how to do it better than the tradesman that you probably came across that you want to hire as a sub. You know how to do every job. You have the ability to see things through a needle of a pen. You see detail, right? Even because you could do it don't mean you should do it. What happens is with super uberly talented people, when you know that you could do a multiple things in one industry, you're like, okay, I'm gonna price it like I can do everything. No, what you should do is try to take less of the money on the back end and increase more volume. Take less money on the back end, increase your volume. What's gonna happen is you're gonna start having a team that you're building around your dreams. You're gonna start having a team that you build around this idea. And once you build the team around the idea, they're gonna say, okay, well, look, that's dope. I like that. Uh, well, look, I do graphics. You want me to do the graphics? And you say, yeah, do the graphics. And what happens is, again, I am guilty. I am guilty of the same thing. They'll do it and you might not like something, or they'll do it and you like, I like this, but this, and you don't want to communicate how much of the detail that you want change. But you don't realize that's what they love to do. That's their thing. They want to do this thing for you. They're locked in. That is their path. So what you'll do is you'll take the task from them and then you'll go do it. You'll do it yourself again. And then you'll find something else that's needed in your space. Like I'm always on the graphics, audio, the now streaming side of things, and it's a lot of moving parts. Just with the podcast, there's a lot of moving parts. Well, because I have not set my life up to have a certain amount of time and have the time to learn the thing, well, that's forced me to kind of to serve people some mid. You serving people mid because you have not taken the time out to perfect the thing that you need to do. And then look, watch this. This is the other thing. If you haven't perfected it, now you need to communicate how you can talk to the person that's perfected the thing that you need. And then maybe you might have something to offer them. It might be in the form of a stock. It might be in the form of a little bit of the ownership of your business. It might be but whatever it is that they bring to the table of value, if you don't have the money to pay them, figure out some other thing that you could trade. But most people just stop. And when you stop, that sets you up for the okie doke because now you're going to be stressed. You're going to be like the Instagram badges. Oh my God, I'm dying. I got so much stuff going on and I feel like I'm about to. This is why you're doing that. This is why you're doing that. You got to perfect more of your communication skills. What the old school players say? Communication rule the nation. That's the old school players used to say. Communication rule the nation. But in actuality, you will be burnt out if you have not figured out a way to navigate conversations and find the things and find the people to fit the jobs that's needed so you can flourish as a business. So back to my contractor story and I'm be out. I picked up the property I priced it at $35,000. I said it's gonna be 35,000 to get this house remodeled, to get all this stuff done. And I had a few tradesmen, but I still stacked too many of the skill. Again, skills that I know how to do. Very efficient with the skills. I stacked too many of those skills up on my plate, and in actuality, the job suffered on the back end. We delivered the property too late. We were over budget. And this is stuff that people be this is why I think that's the poverty mindset. We think we're cutting a corner and we think we're saving some money here and there and no, you're not saving. What you're doing is you're setting yourself up to be stressed out. You're setting yourself up to have to pay more on the back end. Even now, it's we built like a big, it's a 750 square foot facility, right? And me as my from my North Carolina brain, I was like, yo, I'm gonna save some money. I don't want to do nothing. I said we gonna go particle board. I said, okay, particle board. We gotta weatherproof that. He said, yeah, yeah. So I'm talking to my Hispanic guys that be doing the siding. I said, what is the cheapest siding that we can put on this building? So he said, and this is my building. I said, what's the cheapest siding we can put on this building? He said, man, you could do press wood, you do exterior press wood, you do that, but yeah. I said, put it up there. I said, now just go ahead and do it. He said, well, look, if you just spend an extra we're gonna call it $800. The whole siding job was gonna be closer to I think 2,000 and some change. But he said, look, if you spend another $500 to $800, you'll never have to see us again because you're going to have the stuff that you need for this to be a structure where ain't no water going. I said, I'm gonna save my $800. I'm gonna just save it. He said, you sure? $800 versus now I have to replace all of the siding. I have to replace all of it now because I went cheap. I went cheap. It's something about, listen, y'all, if y'all ain't heard nothing I said, don't go cheap on anything, on your dreams, on anything that you got going on, mindset, uh, even some clothes. Like I am a Walmart king, right? I'm a Walmart king, but there's certain things that I'm gonna spend some money on. Suits. If you gotta have your nice suit, you gotta have you some nice khakis. You gotta have certain things. I'm going to spend the money on. Guess what? It's gonna last longer on the back end. You're not gonna have to keep going back to back. And the funny thing is, what most of my brokey friends, my brokey friends, most of my brokey friends will say, man, it's the same thing. Just go ahead and just get you some Walmart khakis and just wear them. You'll be good. What they don't understand is, yeah, I might be good for now, and they do look just like the J Crews. They got straight leg, they got the Euro cut, they got the same thing. It look just like they look like the J Crew joints. But we all know Walmart brand clothing is not the same brand as is J Crew. I have a right now. It's a long trench coat that I got um, from Banana Republic years ago. I think I was in high school when I got that jacket. That joint still look like fire to this day. I still got that jacket. I still got that jacket. When it was purchased at the time, it was like, yo, you gonna pay that much money for a jacket? I was like, yeah. I mean, guess what? Still got it to this day. That should tell you something. Spend some money. Don't go cheap on your dreams. Don't go cheap on some of the things that you really, really need. All right. Listen, everybody on Patreon, I appreciate y'all. Everybody, MJ, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Um, and again, if y'all do want to be a part of my mastermind, if y'all want to be a part of my mastermind at the end of the month, send an email to madlucrativeexec@gmail.com. And I'll see y'all next week. All right. Peace. Bye. All right. So I won't see you next week. I'm going to see you in